The All Blacks have suffered another frustrating injury setback on their rugby's greatest rivalry tour, with experienced wing Caleb Clarke ruled out of the remainder of the South African campaign after suffering a serious shoulder injury against the Sharks. Scans confirmed that Clarke ruptured a tendon in his shoulder during Tuesday night's match, and the 27-year-old Blues wing will return home to New Zealand for surgery. His recovery timeline remains uncertain, meaning his immediate focus will now shift from international rugby to rehabilitation. For Dave Rennie, the injury is another significant blow at a difficult stage of the tour. Clarke's departure comes shortly after centre Billy Proctor was also forced home following a serious shoulder injury suffered during the All Blacks' 38-21 victory over the Stormers in Cape Town. Earlier in the tour, hooker George Bell suffered a calf injury and was replaced by Bradley Slater, while Richie Mo'unga was brought into the squad following Proctor's departure. Mo'unga has added valuable playmaking experience, but replacing Clarke creates a different selection challenge because of the physical qualities and finishing ability the wing brings to the All Blacks. The All Blacks have confirmed that an injury replacement will not be called in at this point. However, that decision could change after Saturday's match against the Bulls, depending on the team's needs and the condition of the remaining outside backs. Rennie still has several options available. Will Jordan, Leroy Carter, Fahai Finianganofo, Rico Ione, Josh Morby, and Emini Narawa are among the players who can cover the wing positions. Jordy Barrett and Timosai Tavitavanawai can also provide cover on the wing if required. The biggest question could be the fitness of Will Jordan, who has yet to feature on tour because of a back problem. If Jordan is cleared to play, his return would give Rennie an experienced and dangerous attacking option at a crucial time. Rico Ione is another player who gives the coaching staff considerable flexibility. Although primarily a center, Ione has extensive experience on the wing and understands the demands of international rugby. The situation means the Bulls match at Loftus Versfeld could become particularly important for selection. New Zealand are preparing for their third match of the rugby's greatest rivalry tour, and the Bulls will provide another serious physical challenge before the All Blacks turn their full attention toward the Springboks. For Dave Rennie, the match is about more than simply getting another result. It is an opportunity to test combinations, assess players pushing for test selection, and make sure the squad is ready for the intensity of the South African series. The loss of Caleb Clarke means the All Blacks will have to adapt their attacking plans as well. Clarke offers power, speed, strong carrying ability, and finishing quality. His presence can force defenders to respect the outside channel, while his physicality gives New Zealand another option when they need to gain meters under pressure. Whoever replaces him will not necessarily have to copy his exact style. Instead, the All Blacks can use their existing strengths to create a different attacking balance. The midfield could become even more important, particularly with Jordy Barrett providing a powerful presence at center. The All Blacks can also rely on their kicking game, structured attack, and the individual speed of their remaining outside backs. The key will be maintaining defensive communication. Against South Africa, the wings have to be comfortable defending under pressure, dealing with high balls, covering kicks, and making decisions quickly. The Springboks are experts at testing opponents in these areas, so the All Blacks cannot afford confusion in the back three. That makes the next few days extremely important. The Bulls match will allow Rennie to see which players are ready for a larger role. A strong performance from one of the remaining wings could significantly influence the selection conversation ahead of the first test. The All Blacks cannot control injuries, but they can control their response. That will be the message inside the squad. Caleb Clarke will now begin his recovery at home, while his teammates must continue preparing for the biggest challenge of the tour. The first test against the Springboks is scheduled for August 22nd at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. The All Blacks will then face the Lions at the same venue before returning to Cape Town for another test against South Africa. A further meeting with the Springboks will take place at FNB Stadium in Johannesburg before the four-test rivalry series concludes in the United States on September 12th. That schedule underlines why squad depth is so important. New Zealand could potentially play several high-intensity matches in a short period, and every position needs reliable cover. For Dave Rennie, the challenge now is to keep the team focused while making smart selection decisions. The loss of Clarke is undoubtedly disappointing, especially for a player who traveled to South Africa expecting to play a major role in one of rugby's biggest rivalries. But injuries are part of professional sport, and the All Blacks must move forward. For another player, Clarke's absence represents an opportunity. A new wing could step into the team, perform strongly against the Bulls, and suddenly find himself in serious contention for the Springboks Tests. That is how international rugby careers can change. One player gets injured, another player gets a chance. And everything can look different within a matter of days. The All Blacks will hope that happens in a positive way. They have already lost Billy Proctor and George Bell from the tour, and they cannot afford to allow injuries to disrupt their preparation completely. The priority now is clear: prepare for the Bulls, assess the remaining squad, and arrive at Ellis Park ready for South Africa. For Caleb Clarke, the immediate priority is recovery and rehabilitation. The All Blacks will hope the surgery goes well and that the powerful Blues wing can return to rugby at full strength. For Dave Rennie, the focus is on the players who remain. The rugby's greatest rivalry tour continues, and the All Blacks still have a huge challenge ahead. Clarke's departure is a setback, but it does not have to define the tour. The response will matter far more. The Bulls are next. The Springboks are waiting. And with the biggest tests of the year approaching, the All Blacks will need every remaining player to step up.